So this is the Neorep digital dimming thermostat. I've not really seen any reviews for these online. When I first saw them on Amazon, I thought they were going to be like a cheap thing, but they sort of piqued my interest, so I looked into them and found that they were actually a UK company. So I was sort of torn between getting one of these, with it being digital and it's got the day and night timer setting on it and everything. I was torn between getting one of these and the standard Habistat dimming thermostat, which is about the same price, but obviously that's not a digital one and it doesn't do any of the day and night settings or anything like that. But it is a Habistat, so I was a bit torn between the two. But in the end, I thought every company's got to start somewhere. You can't really become a well-renowned company until people start to buy their things. So I thought I'd take a gamble on one of these, and I bought one about a year ago, and I've since bought a second one because I do think that they're good units and they're a great price. So what I thought I'd do is do a little bit of a tutorial on them and show you how they work, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about the good and the bad points. Okay, so this is the display unit, and you've got 4 buttons under here. We'll just call these buttons 1, 2, 3 and 4 just to make things simple. So you've got your current temperature, 27 degrees, your current time. This up here is flashing to show that it is pumping heat out right now. You've got your 2 timers, start again. You've got your 2 timers. Timer 2 is off because we're not using that, it's not being used at all. And timer 1, you can see, is flashing at the moment because that's in use right now. Then here you've got your sun, which is to show that we are in day mode at the moment, and behind there is a moon. The sun will switch to the moon for night time, obviously. Okay, so if we hold down this button, and then we can see that the day temp, 27 degrees, has started to flash. So we can now change that with the 2 arrow buttons in the middle, buttons 2 and 3. The thing I don't like about this is that the wrong way around. So the right button is to go down and the left button is to go up. That's the wrong way around in my opinion. But we click again, night temp, 21 degrees, again you can adjust that. Click again, temp alarm, 5 degrees, you can have from 0 to 5 degrees. And that is basically how much you want your temperature to go over or under before the alarm sounds. So obviously if you've got a temperature set to 27 and you do that 5 degree limiter, then it's going to get up from 27, it'd have to get to 32 before the alarm sound, or it'd have to get down to 22 before the alarm sounds. So obviously you can adjust that, have it like 2 or 3 degrees or whatever. Get back into the menu. So that's temp alarm. Then we've got your day from. So you can set what time you want your daytime heat to come on. So I've got mine set to 8:30, and then night from is what time you want your nighttime heat to start from. So I've got that from 8:30 again. That's PM this time. And obviously it'll switch back to day at 8:30 the next morning. Timer 1. So I have my UV lights. I don't use the timer 2, but on the timer 1 I have my UV lights plugged in. So I have them come on at 8 AM, and then timer 1 off 9 o'clock at night, and then because I don't use timer 2, I leave the timer 2 on, set to midnight, and I leave the timer 2 off, also set to midnight, and that basically just cancels that timer out. I don't think it has to be midnight, you can just set them, as long as they're set at the same time, the on and off, then it will cancel the timer. And then you can set your current time, and that is the last thing on the menu. And you can click button 1 at any time, and that will save all your settings and take you back out of it. If you unplug it, or if you have a power cut or anything like that, you're not going to lose your settings. It saves it, which is good, so you don't have to worry about that. So yeah, that's how it works. So this is the plug unit. It actually says heat behind that plug, as this one says timer on it and that one says heat, so you know which is which. Obviously you're going to put your heating element, your heat mat or your heat lamp or whatever into that one, and then this one is for your lights or your mister or whatever you're using. And they also have holes on the back of the plugs, which makes it really handy. If you can see there, I've put a couple of screws, like one at that side and one at the far side, so that I can actually attach them to the sides of the Vivs, because obviously it's quite a bit of weight to just be dangling. And then obviously that one, you can see I've got my heater and my UV lamps plugged in. The last thing I wanted to show you was the actual probe itself, which you can see there. Unfortunately I can't have it out to show you properly, but after showing you the probe for the Neorep stat, I just wanted to show you this probe for the Microclimate Ministat 100. As you can see, this is a much higher quality probe, and that's one thing that disappointed me with the Neorep straight away, to be honest. Not a massive problem, but as you can see from this, it's a much thicker wire, it's a much tougher wire, and the actual probe itself, it just feels so much more robust and higher quality. And obviously these are only cheap stats. This is actually cheaper than the Neorep, but obviously this is only an on-off stat, and you don't get any of the day and night time, no screen or anything like that. But yeah, that is one thing that bothered me straight away about the Neorep stat, is the quality of the probe. This is the specs on the box, in case you wanted to have a look at that. It's the model DDT 500. Suppliers Neorep, suppliers of affordable quality reptile products, www.neorep.net. And there's your specs, if you wanted to have a look at that. Okay, so the Neorep digital dimming thermostat. Bad points. The probe, obviously, that I've just spoke about. I was a little bit disappointed with the quality of it, but like I said, I've been using one of them for a year and I've had absolutely no problems with it. And as I said, I've bought a second one, so yeah, it's a bit disappointing, but obviously it's caused me no problems. So the other little niggly point is the whole right and left buttons. I think the right button needs to be the button to be going up in temperature, and the left button needs to be for going down, but that's just a little niggly point, it's nothing major. And the only other thing that I was disappointed with was the alarm. So if you're just using this thermostat for one temperature 24/7, then the alarm's a great feature. So you can have the setting on the alarm from anywhere to 0 to 5 degrees Celsius. So let's say you set it at the maximum of 5 degrees, and your desired temperature is 30. If your temperatures climb above 35, then you're going to get an alarm to say that they've risen 5 degrees above where they should be. And it's the same if your temps fall below 25, then you're going to get an alarm. And obviously that's really good. The problem is when you're using different temperature settings for the day and night time. So let's say you now add a nighttime temperature of 24, for example. When your thermostat switches to nighttime mode, its new temperature is 24. So when it first switches and it reads the temperature at the probe, which is still sitting around the 30 degree mark, because that's what you had set for your daytime, it's going to give you an alarm to tell you that your temperature is 6 degrees over where it should be. And it's the same vice versa. So in the morning, when the thermostat switches back to day mode, which you've got set for 30 degrees, and your nighttime was set to 24 degrees, when it switches, the probe's going to read the temperature, which is still sitting around that 24 degree mark, when obviously you're in your day mode now, which needs to be 30. So it's going to give you an alarm because it's 6 degrees below where it's supposed to be. I hope that makes sense. But basically, if you're sticking to one temperature 24/7, then the alarm's fine. If you're using different temperatures for day and night time, but you're keeping them within 4.5 degrees of each other, then the alarm's fine. But if you're wanting a larger variation in day and night temperatures, so if you're going for 6, 7, 8 degrees or more, even if you're just going for 5 degrees, because your temperatures aren't going to be spot on, it can still trigger the alarm even if you're just 0.1 of a degrees over that 5. If you're wanting that larger variation in between your day and night temperatures, then the alarm's just no good, basically. Not unless you want to listen to it beep for half an hour in the morning and then beep again for half an hour in the evening. 5 degrees is obviously more than enough for one temperature setting, but it's no good when the temperature setting is changing every 12 hours or so. I think, to be honest, the only way to solve it would be for them to add 2 separate alarm settings. So if you had like a nighttime alarm setting and a daytime alarm setting, I think that would have been better. Fortunately, you can actually disable the alarm, which I'll show you how to do now. So you can actually disable the alarm. What you have to do is hold the 2 middle buttons down, and then it'll start to flash no, and you can switch it to AL, which is alarm, or no. Why it doesn't say alarm on, alarm off, I don't know, but AL and on, no even. So as you can see, I have mine switched to the alarm's just switched off, which it's not a big deal because none of the thermostats I've had before have had that alarm system on there, so it's not a massive deal, but it's just a bit of a shame when you've got that feature there and you can't use it. I do think it's a bit of a shame, but it's not a massive deal. But overall, I think, as I said at the beginning, I was looking at this thermostat, or the standard dimming thermostat by Habistat. Now obviously Habistat are well known and they're trusted, which is the reason I was really tempted to just go for that. But I really wanted to start having a day and night temperature setting. I wanted to start dropping temperatures, and I didn't want to just turn the heating off. I wanted to, because the temperatures in my house can fluctuate quite a bit, so I wanted to make sure they were having a day and a nighttime temperatures without having to turn the heating off, basically. So yeah, I took a gamble on them, and for £44.95 which is actually slightly less than the standard thermostat from Habitat. I think they're massively worth it personally. Like I say, I don't know how long they're going to last. I've had this one for a year. I've had no problems with it so far. I've bought a second one, that's been fine so far. You can get, if you're not already aware, you can get a digital version of the Habitat one, but you're looking at £75 to £80. And when I was looking, nowhere had them in stock. And obviously you can buy two of these, comes to £90, which is only £10 more than one of them. And I'm not saying reptiles aren't worth spending your money on, because obviously they are, especially something like a thermostat, which is keeping them safe and everything. But you know, with this being a UK company, I thought I'd take a gamble on them, and so far they've been great. So I'm more than happy with them, to be honest. This is obviously the box that it comes in. You do get some Velcro strips in the box as well, so that you can stick them to the front of your Vivarium like I've done. As you can see now, the light is off. I think it's something like 10 minutes of inactivity that the light goes off. You can click it at any time and have it light up again. Yeah, there you go. That is the Neorep digital dimming thermostat, and that's with lighting and heating control. It's a model DDT 500, and if you're interested in going and having a look at the website, that is the website. And every time I've been on there, to be honest, they've got more on there. They seem to be, I think they started doing their own hides, and I think they've started doing their own light bulbs and stuff like that, so they do seem to be growing. But yeah, thanks for watching.